So thanks for joining us again. It's Tuesday already, and Haley and I are going to talk about a topic that we feel like is constant in our conversations when we're coaching people, when we look at people's growth. It's also one of the more challenging, things. And we have an expert here on with us, Haley, who, I really believe that you are so in tune to, business growth when it comes to leverage, and you've seen and been part of that in a lot of different ways. And in your coaching conversations, you're doing it regularly right now. So I'm excited for this conversation. I think you're going to bring a lot of value to people. So let's start out with, first and foremost, I think, a lot of people are afraid of leverage and hiring, but let's just start off with some, on a positive note of like, why should you get over that fear and really just understand the benefits of it first and foremost, maybe to lay the foundation for people?
Yeah, of course. So this is actually a topic that I'm really passionate about, and I think it's actually really exciting. It does take a mindset shift though, which is, I think, the most empowering thing. And I hope that when people leave the conversation today, that we're able to just plant a seed, right, for that mindset shift. So the thing is when we hire leverage, our goal for hiring the leverage is to increase our productivity, right? We want to increase what we're producing, because when we don't have leverage in place, we may think that we are doing all of these things. We are completing all of these tasks, almost like a taskmaster, like an octopus, if you will. We're constantly doing something with each hand. It's actually not time efficient at all to multitask. Multitask is actually causing us more stress, and it becomes more time consuming than if we can just focus on one thing that's producing income for us at a very high level. Hiring the right leverage can also, and this kind of ties into productivity, is efficiency. When we're able to focus on what we're really good at, we're going to get it done with efficiency, right? With skill, with the gifts that we already are blessed with. However, right, when we're trying to accomplish all things, because sometimes as leaders, we think that it's our responsibility to do all things and to know all things. Here's the hint, guys. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to know it all. Because Cari, what you're really, really good at, I might not be really good at that. And vice versa. What I'm really gifted and skilled at, you allow me to shine and I allow you to shine. And it's a beautiful relationship. So when you make that mindset shift, it's a magical thing. It really can be very uplifting and empowering. And not to mention, your culture can be so impacted by having the right team, the right tribe, the right people surrounding you. And everybody is just skilled in their own gifts, and everybody is just working at a high level, doing what they're best at. Why wouldn't we want that?
Yeah, I think about this, we've talked in the past about, burnout being not necessarily, it is what you're doing, but it's not like in the greater sense what you're doing. It's what you're spending your day-to-day activities in. And when you're doing things that are not in alignment and don't bring you joy, by the way, the things you're good at bring you joy. The things that are just authentic to who you are, how you were created, to your point, Haley, that's where you get joy. It's like you're using the gifts and you're being able to truly be the best version of yourself in that moment. And so when we do things in a way that bring us joy, we also just do them so much better.
Right.
And we have an energy about us that attracts other people, and it makes people, want to be like that too, and focus on their strengths. And so we really are uplifting and empowering people. So I think that a lot of it is the byproduct of the leader who allows themselves to not be in the mindset that I have to do it all, and rather to be in the mindset that I do what I should be doing, what I was put on this earth to do, what my purpose in this team or this business is to do. And then I go surround myself with greater people that are doing the exact same thing. And that's going to uplift the entire organization. But we all actually leave our day-to-day feeling empowered and excited and joyful and energetic, not burnt out and tired and worn down. It's like, that exercise of what are you doing all day? Is it bringing you energy? Is it robbing you of energy? Is it energy neutral? And if you find yourself doing a lot of the things that rob you of energy, there are a lot of consequences to that. And by the way, what people are nervous of is the financial of leverage sometimes, but they don't realize by not leveraging how much money they're actually losing. And that's a whole nother topic that we should probably, dive into. So those are all the benefits of hiring. But I think that many people come to you in that space of a little bit of fear, or maybe just uncertainty, or it seems like people wait a little too long to make that decision. So what are the signs, Haley? And I know you see this every day. What are the signs that people are waiting too long, or they already should be leveraging? What should they be looking for in themselves or in their business?
Yeah, so there's actually a lot of signs. We're just going to talk about a few today because we don't have a whole lot of time, but we could probably write like half of a book about the signs that you should be paying attention to that you need to hire. Here's what I'm going to say. You know that you've waited too long to hire when our bodies, our intuition is telling us that we're procrastinating, right? We're like running away. Oh, geez. That's my dog, guys. That's my dog. The power of live, being on Zoom live. Hold on one second.
I know. It's okay.
Okay. So as I was saying, if you're waiting, if you're procrastinating, if you're waiting too long to do the tasks that need to be done, right? You're procrastinating, you're running away from it. If you're freezing up and just not doing anything, like you just don't even know what to do, you're so overwhelmed that it has now caused burnout because you would just rather not show up at all than show up and do something, right? Or we're just fearful. We're fearful, we're afraid because we just don't know how it's going to turn out. Here's something common that I hear. I'm afraid to spend the money. I'm afraid that the person isn't going to have enough work to do. I'm afraid I'm not a good enough leader. I'm afraid I don't know how to lead somebody, right? I don't know how to show up, or I can barely lead myself. How can I lead somebody else? That is a sign. That is your intuition telling you it's time to just sit down and self-reflect. Okay. If we need to self-reflect over our finances, if we need to self-reflect and have a conversation about what it is that you're truly afraid of, maybe there's some coaching that needs to be done about how you do need to show up, and how we talked about this last week, self-leadership, right? And how to lead yourself first. So I don't think that people should run away from that. I think that when we're listening to ourselves, to our fear, it's actually a signal. It's our body and our mind and our spirit telling us, hey, we need to be paying attention here. What does this actually mean? And so I know that kind of talks about like a whole spiritual aspect, but there are other things too, Cari, like logistically speaking, if you're missing phone calls, if your emails are not being answered, if you're noticing burnout in your employees, if the people that are already on your team are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, those are all signs. Those are all signs that we need to just have a conversation.
Yeah. So, what's interesting about that is if you are already having some self-talk with yourself about why you're afraid to hire, it probably means you need to hire, because you wouldn't even be thinking of it. It wouldn't even be on your radar if you didn't need it.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Intuitively, I need some help here. But the first reaction is, I don't even know what kind of help. I don't even know if I would be able to find that person, much less train them or lead them. And so I'm just shutting the idea down altogether. But if the idea popped into your mind, it did for a reason. Absolutely. And so that gives you the opportunity to say, okay, so what am I really afraid of? Do some self-reflection. I think that you're right. One of the biggest things is it's not that they don't believe that it's not that a leader doesn't believe somebody could come in and really help them in their business. And it mostly isn't even about the other person and their abilities. It's mostly inner. It's mostly, I don't know that I am going to be able to show up. I don't even know what I need. I don't even know what that job description would look like. I don't even know what I do all day, much less to tell somebody else. I don't even know if we're going to have enough business for them to support me. It's all of these limiting beliefs, these questions. and this kind of lack of confidence. And you know why? It's because you probably have never done it before. Don't you find, Haley, that most people that are in that place have not ever really done it before, or maybe they've done it before and it just wasn't very successful. So now they have this story that they aren't able to successfully do it. And so
Yes.
having somebody in your corner that knows how to do it, what to look for, how to help you create a job description, help you realize what do you do all day, help you lead yourself maybe at a little bit of a higher level, and understand that, quite frankly, you don't have to be ready and get everything perfect for somebody to come into your world. If they're a talented person, that's why you're hiring them.
Yes.
And so some of those fears are not even really real. They're just, of course, thoughts in your mind. So Haley, this is something that you've been doing quite a bit in your career, and lately for a lot of the people that we're in business with or that we know here, is to really help them to stay focused on their talents and their strengths and the job or the day-to-day activities at hand, while you kind of come in and support them to find not only that person that, but also to understand and identify what leverage they really need, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and this is what's really exciting. And this is how I view it. And I think it's a little bit different than traditional, like how it would be traditionally viewed. I think as a leader, as a CEO, as somebody who's even a team lead, whatever your role is, it's not necessarily, you wouldn't naturally want to sit down and get into the details and get into the
Mhm.
weeds. That's probably not something that you like. And here, I'm here to reassure you that you're absolutely not alone. You don't
Mhm.
like that, and that's okay. That's why I am here to help go through the weeds with you, right? It's my job and my passion to get into the nitty gritty, to get into the details, to help you self discover what you actually need for your business. And maybe it's just starting with a conversation. Maybe
Mhm.
it's talking about the pain that you're currently in, recognizing it
Mhm.
for what it is, and just then talking about, okay, how do we get out of that pain? How do we get out of whatever is making you uncomfortable? What is it that you're currently doing that's not working? Or what have you done in the past? Maybe it's that you've hired somebody and it's just been a really bad experience. So, like you said, Carrie, you don't have the confidence. You just don't really trust yourself. The
Mhm.
process that you currently have is just not working, but you don't really want to dive back in and recreate something because it's just really painful. So you'd
Mhm.
rather just like step back and not do it at all. So
Mhm.
I'm here to show up for you, to be your cheerleader and to be your guide. You're the hero in the story. You're the hero. I'm just the guide. I'm just here to help provide some clarity, have these deep conversations, and then get the ball rolling for you to hire not just leverage, but to hire the right person who is aligned with your missions, your value, and whatever your vision is for your company. I am here to help recruit that person like a magnet to you, right? To create a manifesto, to create systems and processes to help you attract, not necessarily recruit, but attract the right person.
Yeah. I mean, when you do that and two people are really in alignment, and you and I have just been blessed to meet each other and really seeing that come to fruition. We talked about this the other day, and I think this is a great way to segue out of this conversation. And we're going to come back with more conversations around leverage, because this is a big hot topic, I think, in all industries, particularly in the real estate industry, Haley. But, I think the biggest thing is that when two people really see a similar vision and they're allowed to really live in their own like authenticity and do what they were put on the earth to do in terms of their strengths, and they really are passionate about what they're doing, and they're moving forward in the same direction but staying in their own lanes, and really using each other's energy to find opportunity. And it's like it comes to you, right? Like we were just
Oh,
talking about
yeah.
this other day, like our opportunities are coming to us, and it feels like we haven't even really been able to
Scratch the
get out there. And
surface.
yeah, we're not even doing what we want to do yet, but all of a sudden things are showing up. And it's because we both are in alignment with who we are. We're doing
Mhm.
things daily for the most part that we really enjoy. And we're supporting each other to do that. And we're getting so much further ahead together than we ever could on our own, without that burnout, without that energy suck. But more, I think we're both getting so much energy that we're putting that energy really does flow, and it's attracting things back to us. And so it's a really big deal. And you've heard people and you've seen people in your industry where they've gotten somebody next to them and you're like, gosh, that relationship, it looks like it's just like such a great relationship, two leaders kind of leading the charge, and look at their business flourish. And the business is flourishing because two people are empowering each other and helping and supporting each other in alignment and towards a similar vision. And that is very, very powerful for all the reasons Haley noted in the beginning of this call, but it's really, really, it's life-changing for, I think, the people who make that move. I mean, for me, it's life-changing. So yes, it grows your business, but I think there's more to it than that. So tell us a little bit more about how, I just want to make sure people can get in touch with you, Haley, because it's far more expensive to continue to make a mistake in hiring than it is to have somebody come in and pay a little bit to have them help you to get somebody who really is going to push your business forward. And I think more and more people are realizing that this is just not their wheelhouse. And if they really are serious about leverage and the signs are coming to them and they know they should do it, and they're confident they can get a return on investment should they have the right person, I think they're going to want to get in contact with you. So what's the best way to do that?
Yeah. So below this video, when we post it, I'll put my contact information. You can also DM me personally on Facebook or just send me a message. I'll leave my email below so that people can get in contact with me. But as you were talking, I was thinking, what a great conversation to follow up with this next week. When you hire the right person, and when you're both truly aligned, here's what happens. It's actually very magical. And there's this amazing vibration and this energy that happens when two people are aligned. And this is actually scientifically proven that the way that your body is functioning and the energy that you're projecting when two people are aligned, it's like this magic moment. And I'm sure many people who have actually, like when you're having a conversation with somebody and you like get goosebumps and you're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. I love talking about this. Imagine working with somebody and every single day you step into the office or you step into a conversation, and every conversation that you have, you leave feeling more empowered and just excited. Like that is what can happen when you hire the right person. That is what can happen when you're partnered with the correct people in your life. And then, like you said, just amazing opportunities come to you because you're putting out amazing energy, right?
Yeah.
And so I think next week we should have a conversation about what that actually looks like, because it can be so successful.
Because the opposite's happening, Haley. When they're going into the work and they're exhausted, the energy that they're putting out is also affecting their business and they don't realize it. So energetically, just empowering yourself to be in alignment and do the things you're supposed to do and then be with the right people. There's more than, just this obvious return on investment. Right. So I think that's a great conversation.
I think so. And then I'll say this one last thing is that you'll know that you're in alignment with somebody when you're able to allow them to shine, when you're able to put your ego aside, because you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to show up and know every single thing or do everything. And when someone else steps in and they're just providing you the support and you're providing them support, I think that that's why our partnership works so well, Cari, is because there's absolutely no micromanaging happening, right? Like we just 100% trust each other. And I just know you're going to do exactly what you need to do, and I'm going to do what I need to do. And there's just like this constant ebb and flow of energy.
And that's really interesting because people who have not hired the right person, that hasn't been their experience. So they feel like it's actually more work, and it's the micromanaging and it's the following up, and I'm paying somebody to do something and they're still not doing it. And it may just be, it's not the right person. It may be that there's a lack of communication. It may be that there's a lack of empowerment, but it really dials into, I think, finding the right person, because when you find the right person, you don't second guess those things. And you really feel empowered to go do your thing and not worry about the rest. And all of a sudden you start seeing the results happen. So definitely a follow-up conversation to this. It is probably the number one thing that holds real estate and all businesses back, is being able to find the right talent and then being able to lead them in the right way. I do think that finding the right person is the first part, though. Some people think I've got to lead people the right way, and you're still trying to put the wrong person in the in the wrong seat on the bus. And then no matter how you lead them, it doesn't matter. So I think starting with knowing yourself and being willing to stay authentically to who you are, and then be willing to go out there and find that talented person that, by the way, is like really talented, oftentimes is going to scare you in their talent and certainly be much, much better in certain things than you. And that's the removal of the ego that is necessary, because that's where the power lies. That's where the magic can happen. I think that's where people get a little bit intimidated and maybe hung up. And so they're not bringing in the level of talent they really could. And so this is a great conversation we'll continue to have. If you are someone who has been thinking about getting someone talented in your world, and leverage has been a challenge for you, and you're feeling burnt out, and you're doing way too many things, in your day that are robbing you of energy, that you're not enjoying, that are probably actually hindering your business growth, and you yourself are feeling some of the signs we talked about, but you just don't know where to begin, keep joining us in these conversations. At least watch this one again. Join us next Tuesday, and then reach out to Haley if you want to have a conversation. Obviously, no cost or obligation to chat, but we're here to help you. It is something that Haley is super passionate about. She's super, super good at this. She is by far the much better half of me in this relationship. And so we are living it out as well, and can share experiences with you. And we're just here for you guys. We know it's a really, really important topic, and we hope to have some conversations with some of you. Thanks as always for joining us. Thanks for your wisdom today, Haley. We'll see you guys next Tuesday.